Mama, what?
Cheese.
Cheese. What you got? You got dinosaur? Dinosaur.
Sarah.
I love you.
I will.
You my apple.
Apple.
Give me a kiss.
Oh.
Mwah.
Love you.
I love you.
This is Corey Sanders. Cleveland police just arrested him in connection to the shooting death of a woman. So this was the scene Saturday afternoon on Judson Drive near East 147th. This is near where the 10-year-old was killed the night before. Rakitha Pruitt was found slumped behind the wheel of a car. Police found she had been shot. Sanders is now charged with aggravated murder.
February 9th, 2025, Cleveland, Ohio. It was still early, the kind of early where the world feels paused. Sunday morning early. Street lights were still on. Cars were quiet. Houses were dark. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell would ring soon, but not yet. And on a residential street, inside a parked car, a woman was bleeding. She was alone. Her breath was shallow. Her body was failing. By the time anyone realized something was wrong, her fate was already sealed. This was not a robbery. This was not random. This was personal. Because years earlier, the man she trusted most had already tried to kill her. He had stood close. So close she could smell him. He pressed a gun to her head, and he pulled the trigger. That bullet should have ended her life. But it didn't. She survived. Doctors would later say she was lucky, a miracle. Her family called it something else. A warning, a chance to walk away, a chance she almost took. But love complicates survival. Fear rewires the mind. And trauma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It tells you things will be different, that people change, that the worst is over. So she went back. And on this quiet Sunday morning, February 9th, 2025, the man who once failed to kill her would not fail again. But this story is not only about her final moments. It's about everything that happened before. The warnings that came early, the danger that grew slowly, the system that saw the risk and did nothing. It's about how surviving violence once does not always protect you from it later, and how leaving can be more dangerous than staying. Welcome back to Crime Journal TV, where we uncover the truth behind the cases that shock the world. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, because today's story is one you will not forget. Tonight, we're telling the story of a woman who believed deeply in love, and a man who believed deeply in control. Her full name was Rakitha Pruitt. She was a mother, a sister, a protector, and the man at the center of this case is Corey Sanders, a man with a violent past, a man the system already knew. For most of this story, we'll call them Bree and Corey. And what happened between them is a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous moment is when you believe the nightmare is finally over. Bree was known as the strong one, not the loud kind of strong, not the kind that demands attention, the quiet kind, the kind that shows up, the kind that holds things together when everything feels like it's falling apart. In her community, people trusted her. They leaned on her. They depended on her. They called her when life went wrong. When someone needed help at the last minute, Bree answered. When someone needed a calm voice, Bree stayed on the line. When someone felt overwhelmed, Bree made space. She didn't brag about it. She didn't ask for praise. Helping people was just who she was. Bree was a mother first, before anything else, before every decision. Her kids came before her rest, before her peace, before her own needs. She worked hard. She stretched herself thin. She carried more than most people ever knew, but she rarely complained. She was a caregiver by nature, a fixer by instinct. If something broke, she tried to repair it. If a situation was messy, she tried to clean it up. If someone was struggling, she tried to save them. Walking away didn't come easy to Bree. Staying, trying again, giving one more chance. That felt familiar. She laughed easily. a soft laugh, a warm one, the kind that made people feel comfortable, the kind that made conversations feel lighter. She loved deeply, without limits, without conditions, and she gave more than she had. Time, energy, patience, sometimes even when it cost her. On social media, her life looked normal. Smiling pictures, family moments, small celebrations. Nothing dramatic, nothing alarming. Just a woman doing her best. Just a mother building a life. Nothing about Bree's life looked dangerous. Nothing suggested that she was heading towards something dark. That's when Corey entered her world. Quietly, no big announcement, no warning signs. They met online, during a time when life felt heavy, when loneliness felt closer than comfort. The world felt smaller then. People were isolated. Connection felt rare. At first, Corey seemed gentle, soft-spoken, calm, attentive. He listened when Bree talked. He asked questions. He remembered details. He made her feel seen. He told her she was strong, that she was different, that she deserved love. For someone who spent her life giving to others, that attention felt good, comforting, safe. Then things moved fast, very fast. Messages turned into long calls. Calls turned into visits. Visits turned into nights together. Within weeks, Corey was always around, sleeping over, eating meals, leaving personal items behind, acting like he belonged, like the space was already his. To outsiders, it looked like a new beginning. A woman who had been carrying everything alone finally had someone by her side. It looked like love. But the people closest to Bree noticed a change. Something felt off. Corey watched her closely, not in an obvious way. Not at first. He asked questions. Too many questions. Where are you? Who are you with? Why didn't you answer? If she took longer than usual, he noticed. If she spoke to someone new, he wanted details. Small moments. Easy to explain away. Bree told herself he cared, that he was just protective. She told herself relationships required compromise, so she ignored the feeling in her chest, the quiet discomfort, the subtle tension. She didn't want to overreact. She believed people could change. She believed patience could fix things, that love could soften sharp edges. She believed giving someone a chance was the right thing to do. She had always believed in trying. What Bree didn't see yet was that control doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives gently, slowly, disguised as concern. And by the time it feels heavy, it's already settled in. The relationship began to shift, not all at once, not in a single moment. It happened slowly, quietly. The calm talks didn't last as long anymore. Small disagreements turned sharp. Simple conversations ended in silence. Arguments replaced understanding. They came out of nowhere, over nothing, over things that didn't matter. An unanswered call, a late reply, a look Corey didn't like. After each outburst came apologies. He said he was sorry. He said he didn't mean it. He said he was under pressure. Bree listened. She wanted to believe him. Then came the jealousy. It didn't sound like jealousy at first. It sounded like worry. Who was that? Why are they calling you? Why do they need you so much? Questions turned into accusations. He checked her phone, asked for passwords, wanted explanations for everything. Anger started showing up without warning. His tone changed. His face changed. The room felt smaller when he was upset. Corey didn't like losing control. When Bree pushed back, even gently, things got worse. If she questioned him, he snapped. If she asked for space, he followed. If she tried to leave the room, he blocked the door. He wanted things his way. Always. Friends began to notice. Small marks on her arms. Bruises she brushed off with excuses. She said she bumped into something. She said she was clumsy. She laughed it away. Family noticed distance. Missed calls. Short replies. Canceled plans. Bree wasn't around like she used to be. When asked if she was okay, she smiled. She said she was tired. She said work was stressful. She said everything was fine. But it wasn't. Behind closed doors, the tension lived. Voices were raised. Doors were slammed. Silence stretched for hours. Then came promises. Corey promised to change, to do better, to be calm. He cried sometimes. Said he needed her. Said he couldn't lose her. Bree stayed. She told herself it was stress. That everyone struggles sometimes. That love isn't always easy. She remembered the man from the beginning. The kind voice. The gentle words. She thought that man was still there. She thought if she loved him harder, things would change. If she was patient enough. If she didn't argue. If she tried more. She adjusted herself. She walked on eggshells. Chose her words carefully. Kept the peace when she could. But peace never lasted. Each calm moment felt borrowed. Temporary. Fragile. The anger always came back. Stronger. Faster. Closer. Control tightened. Where she went. Who she spoke to. How long she stayed. Her world began to shrink. And still she stayed. Because leaving felt harder than hoping. Because she believed love could fix it. But it didn't. Things didn't get better. They got worse. And the danger was growing. Even if Bree couldn't fully see it yet. March 2020. By then, the tension had been building for a long time. There was no calm left to return to. No balance to restore. Everything felt tight. Heavy. That day, the argument started like many others. Words first. Sharp ones. Voices rose. Accusations flew. What was about almost didn't matter anymore. Because the anger had a life of its own. Corey was pacing. Bree was trying to speak. Trying to explain. Trying to calm him down. But he wasn't listening. The room felt closed in. The air felt thick. Then the argument exploded. Control turned into rage. Corey moved toward Bree. Fast. Hands around her neck. Pressure. She struggled to breathe. Tried to pull away. He hit her. Hard. She fell. Tried to get back up. Fear took over. Pure fear. Then everything slowed down. Corey reached for a gun. Bree saw it. Time stretched. The room went quiet in a way that didn't feel real. He raised it. Brought it close. Pressed it against her head. In that moment, Bree understood something clearly. She might not survive this. There was no warning shot. No pause. He pulled the trigger. At the last second, Bree moved. Just enough. The bullet didn't enter her skull. It tore through her hair. Passed so close it burned. Then it slammed into furniture behind her. The sound was deafening. Bree collapsed. Not because she was shot in the head, but because her body gave out. She was bleeding. Shaking. In shock. Her hands trembled. Her ears rang. The room was chaos. And her child was there. Watching. Hearing everything. Seeing what no child ever should. Neighbors heard the noise. Someone called for help. Sirens came fast. Police arrived at a scene that told its own story. The gun. The damage. The fear written across Bree's face. Evidence everywhere. Corey was taken into custody. Handcuffed. Removed from home. Charged. The words were heavy. Attempted murder. Doctors treated Bree. They called it a miracle. The bullet had missed by inches. Inches that meant the difference between life and death. Family cried. Friends were shocked. Everyone said the same thing. This is it. This is the end. He almost killed her. And it should have been. By every measure, this was a breaking point. A clear line. A moment no one comes back from. But trauma doesn't always follow logic. Fear doesn't always turn into escape. And love, especially the kind mixed with control, doesn't disappear overnight. This should have been the end. But it wasn't. After the gunshot, after the arrest, after the chaos faded, the system stepped in. Paperwork replaced panic. Files replaced fear. What happened to Bree became a case number. As prosecutors reviewed the evidence, a deeper story began to surface. Court records revealed the truth. Corey was not a man who snapped once. He had a history, a long one, across multiple states. His name appeared again and again. Domestic violence reports, assault complaints, weapons-related charges. Each case carried the same pattern. Anger, control, escalation. There were records involving women before Bree, and there were records involving his own family. Even violence against his disabled mother. Arguments that turned physical. Moments that crossed lines no one should ever cross. This was not hidden information. It was documented. When Corey shot at Bree in March 2020, he was already under supervision, already known to the system, already flagged as dangerous. The courts knew who he was. The history was there. The warning signs were clear. And yet, the case moved forward quietly. There was no long public trial. No courtroom filled with cameras. Instead, there was a negotiation, a plea deal. The charge was reduced. The sentence was decided behind closed doors. For years for nearly killing a woman. For years for terrorizing a family. For years for a gun pressed against someone's head. For the justice system, the case was resolved. For Bree, nothing was resolved. She survived. But survival didn't mean healing. Her body healed faster than her mind. Nightmares followed her into sleep. Sudden noises made her jump. Certain rooms made her heart race. She replayed the moment again and again. The pressure on her neck. The sound of the gun. The belief that she was about to die. Trauma settled into her daily life. She struggled to feel safe. Even at home. Even around people she trusted. She checked locks more than once. She listened for sounds at night. She watched shadows. She tried to be strong. For her children. For her family. She told herself surviving meant she had to keep going. But trauma doesn't leave when the threat is gone. It waits. It changes how the brain works. Fear becomes familiar. Calm feels suspicious. Years passed. Corey served his time. And then, quietly, in late 2024, he was released. No press conference. No warning. Just a date on a form. Back on the streets. Back in the same city. Back in Bree's world. When people learned that Bree had allowed Corey back into her life, many were confused. Some were angry. Some were afraid for her. They asked questions. How could she? Why would she risk it? Didn't he try to kill her? But trauma doesn't respond to logic. Survivors don't always return because they forget. Sometimes they return because fear has reshaped their sense of safety. Because the brain learns to survive, not to escape. Because control can feel like familiarity. And because the system had already sent a message that even when the worst happens, protection is not guaranteed. Bree didn't go back because she didn't remember. She went back carrying every memory, every scar. Every night, she woke up afraid. She went back because trauma tangled fear and hope together. And because the system that was supposed to protect her had already failed her once. It was a Sunday, the kind of morning that feels slow. Quiet streets, cold air, people getting ready for church. Others still asleep. On the outside, the neighborhood looked normal. But inside that calm, something was breaking. Neighbors would later say the arguing had returned. Not shouting every minute. Not chaos all the time. Just tension. Voices raised behind closed doors. Silence afterward. Then more noise. The same pattern people had noticed before. That morning, something snapped. No one knows the exact words that were spoken. No one knows what set off. What is known is that Bree left the house. She ended up inside a car registered to Corey. What happened next unfolded quickly. Police would later say Bree was shot inside that vehicle on a residential street. She didn't make it out alive. When officers arrived, the scene was still, too still. A woman slumped inside a parked car. No signs of life. No second chance this time. Briathea Pute was pronounced dead at the scene. She was 39 years old. News spread fast. Sirens. Police tape. Neighbors gathering at a distance. People asked the same question again and again. How? And why? Investigators began piecing the story together. They followed the trail. The car. The registration. The timeline. Then the phone data. Cell phone records placed Corey where he shouldn't have been. Near the car. Near the scene. Near Bree in her final hours. This wasn't random. It wasn't a stranger. It was a man who had already tried to kill her once. Police moved quickly. Corey Sanders was taken into custody. This time, there was no confusion. No reduced charge. No plea deal waiting in the shadows. He was charged with aggravated murder. In court, he said very little. His lawyer spoke for him. The courtroom was heavy. Bree's family sat in silence. They had begged for this not to happen. They had warned everyone who would listen. Now, they were preparing to bury someone who had survived the impossible, only to be taken in the end. The same man, the same violence, the same cycle. But this time, there was no survival story, no miracle, no escape, just a life cut short on a quiet Sunday morning. And a question that still hangs in the air. How many chances does someone get before the system admits it failed?
It's hard because now we gotta bury our sister. He took her from her kids, her grandkids, sisters, brothers. It was not her time.
A local family grieving a woman's life taken too soon. Brickethia Pruitt was found dead in a car. Police say her boyfriend pulled the trigger. Noelle Williams spoke with Pruitt's sister, who has a message for anyone, everyone affected by domestic violence.
I know sometimes love is tough, but when they show you one time who they are, don't go back.
Nicole Geiger says love cost her baby sister her life.
And I just still, it's like, I can't believe that he did it. It's like so much hate right now.
Bree believed love could save him. She believed patience could soften anger, that forgiveness could erase violence, that surviving once meant she could survive again. She was wrong, and the cost of that belief was her life. This case is not just about one man and one woman. It's about warning signs people see every day and talk themselves out of. Jealousy that feels like protection. Control that looks like care. Apologies that come after fear. It's about a system that knew who he was and still let him walk free. It's about how trauma can make danger feel familiar and safety feel strange. Bree did not die because she was weak. She died because she trusted, because she hoped, because she believed love was stronger than violence, and because the people meant to protect her did not protect her. If this story feels heavy, it should, because somewhere right now, someone is ignoring a small red flag. Someone is explaining away a threat. Someone is staying because they survived once and think they can survive again. This story is for them. If this video moved you, disturbed you, or made you think, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Share it with someone who might need to hear it before it's too late. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Crime Journal TV and turn on notifications so you never miss an investigation like this one. Because these aren't just stories. They're warnings. They're lessons written in real lives. Thank you for watching Crime Journal TV. Stay safe. Stay aware. And I'll see you in the next investigation.